Yeah, so today was kind of retarded, bit of a stupid day. I didn't get much work done. I went gym though, hit a couple new PRs. When I say PRs, I don't mean like a new 1 rep max. I mean like a set PR. So a PR for me, I'll talk about that in a second. But right now I'm just going to talk about training. So a PR for me is like, say that I have 4 sets, right? And for the first set I do, a certain amount of weight for 8 reps. And then the second set I do the same amount of weight for 6 reps. Third set I do a little bit less weight for 8 reps. And fourth set I do a little bit less weight for 8 reps. Or a little bit less weight for 10 reps rather. A PR for me would be either doing the same amount of sets and reps the next week, but adding an amount of weight for one of the sets only. Either that or doing the same amount of weight, the same amount of sets, but for one of the sets adding adding 1 or 2 reps. And that is a PR for me, and it's something that I can use to add progressive overload week on week, right? Because if you're hitting PRs every week, then, which I am at the moment, I'm hitting PRs every other day, because I use that structure. As long as, and if you're keeping good form as well, then you're good. If you're using that structure, then you can hit PRs very, very frequently, and progress very, very quickly and efficiently. So yeah, and there's a lot of parallels between that kind of training and art study, but I've already spoken a lot about how I studied, how I approach studying, and how I'm planning on approaching studying in the future. So for today, I was just kind of practicing shapes and forms of kind of like product design and kind of sleek. Excuse me. Kind of like sleek industrial design, product design kind of forms and shapes. And it's interesting because I learned a lot, but I only learned a lot, and I'm realizing this more frequently. I only learn a lot when I go into a study with a very analytical mindset and a very focused mindset, and a mindset where I'm trying to really break down the reference I'm looking at and really try and understand it. So that's what I did today with those kind of these kind of like product design forms and shapes. So I noticed that these kind of like beveled edges, it's like they have like if you ever used Blender or any kind of 3D modeling software, there's like a boolean kind of option which like subtracts the shape. And I'm noticing for a lot of these product design things, that there's a very similar kind of look to some of them. It looks like a separate form has been intersected, and then the crossover has been subtracted from the original form, and then that kind of subtracted shape has been kind of blended into the original form to make kind of like an interesting overall topology. Topology, is that the right word? Yeah, I think so. But so that's kind of what I was studying today. And that kind of concept is something that I can, it's concrete, and I can take it forward into the next studies and next tests. Tomorrow morning, I've clocked that a good way to start off your day is by doing, before breakfast, before you even do anything, as soon as you get up, literally the first thing you do, like before you even go take a piss, is to do an hour of studying, which is what I'm going to do. I used to do that a lot, and it proved very effective. But I'm going to do that tomorrow as well. And I'm going to make those studies very focused. Oh my god. and I'm gonna try and be very analytical. I was also studying the like shapes of a certain, like there's like a lawnmower, kind of automatic futuristic lawnmower thing that I thought had pretty cool shapes. So I studied that, and I figured that you can get quite a lot of aesthetic kind of horsepower, I suppose, with this kind of like setting out of a shape. It's kind of like what's the word, like kind of like thinning out a shape or beveling out a shape towards one end, and it makes for a very a much more interesting shape, aesthetic shape. Because normally I do understand this concept, and it kind of ties in with the concept of flow, kind of like converging lines almost, and not overusing parallel lines. So yeah, the concept of like the converging lines are very very important. But what I normally do is I normally make the converging lines too extreme. I normally have them almost converge and make the angle at which they intersect that very very obtuse, in the sense that it looks more like like more triangular rather than like oblongular. Is that a word? I don't know. But yeah, you might be able to see it in the footage. I'm not sure if I captured it very effectively, but yeah, it's just subtle converging of lines, but to make kind of like still use that to make kind of blocky shapes, which is very interesting. And then also the like cutting in and bringing it out of like circular shapes can kind of sell the perspective if you do it correctly. So I did quite a lot of that as well. But yeah, that was kind of today's studies. I don't really talk about studies too much, like the specifics. But I thought for today, why not? I'll explain what I've learned. Yeah, that's about it. Have a good day. Bye.